Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
BlueNote Fan Report. Aloha and mahalo. I am Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan. How are all of you doing out there today? Yeah, playing with my volume a little bit. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize that the NHL took Sunday off. I mean, they haven't done something like that in a while, man. Yeah, they just took Sunday off in the schedule. It doesn't make sense, but they did. 9 games on the slate for today. We'll go over some of them real quick. Couple of them that are of interest to the Blues and Blues fans. Yes, they are. The first game, Rangers are up 5-2 over the Ducks with 18:25 to go in the third. Coyotes, oh my goodness, the Coyotes are leading the Maple Leafs 2-0 with 16:26 to go in the third. At the end of the second, the Bruins are up 2-1 on the Panthers, with 15:58 to go in the third. The Penguins are leading 2-1 over the Canadiens. The Canucks are up 4-2 over the Caps with 18:54 to go in the third. At the end of the second, our boy Ville Husso has given up 3 goals on, I think it was 22 shots. The Kings are up 3-2 on the Red Wings. At the end of the first, the Avalanche are up 2-1 on the Wild. That's a game that is of interest to us. And the other game that is of interest to us, actually this one is, but it didn't. The Jets and the Stars are tied at 1 with 6:21 to go in the first. And later tonight, 9 o'clock St. Louis time, as we're going off, the Seattle Kraken will be taking on the Carolina Hurricane, and that is of interest to us. What is the the Pitlick situation? We'll talk about that. And he pounds it in. Baby, she's loving it. What the? I don't know what that is. Oh, I'm almost afraid to even look at who put that out there, man. I'm guessing it's in the group. So it could be on the main page. Let me look in the group real quick. Oh, Danny Johnson. Oh my goodness. Hey, Danny, how are you, my friend? Husso isn't handling the starter heat very well. Well, I mean, that's not true. If this score holds out, he'll have a 1.5 GAA, do 2 starts and be 1-1. But again, you know, everybody after he had that shutout was like, oh, see, we were so wrong for letting go of Husso. I'll tell you what, Bennington played outstanding Saturday night. Bennington was absolutely outstanding Saturday night. His numbers are 2.0. Oh man, I was looking at it earlier. I don't have it. He was 2.0. He was 23 for 25. And that's a 920 save percentage. Okay? Give me that all season. I will take that all season long. If you can maintain a 2.0 with a 920 save percentage, we're one of the top teams in the league. Right? That's what I say within the Blues score. I love it, man. That sounds like a comment someone says in the Blues Nation Facebook group. There's probably a few of them out there, man. I know. I'm out of the Blues Nation. Blues Nation and Blues Lounge, and We All Bleed Blue. They all kicked me out. Okay, whatever. I'm one of the biggest Blues fans around, but I'm not allowed because I want people to know about it. Fucking stupid, but that's what it is. Blues had a couple days off, and yesterday something interesting happened. Tyler Pitlick ended up practicing with the Blues. Now, when he was sent down, one of the Jim Thomas noticed that his nameplate was still up. Yeah, Danny Johnson says that was him. So his nameplate is still up. Well, Danny, what are you doing in St. Louis Blues Nation instead of on the show during the show, man? You should be here. Screw the nation. Get here. In fact, tell the nation to watch the show. Right? Screw the nation. You know, they're going to kick me out. F them. But Tyler Pitt, they had noticed that his nameplate was still there. So Sunday he practiced with the Blues. I don't know if they have to do it now or if they can wait until Wednesday. But at the moment, I'm looking up to see if it's changed. So at the moment, Pitlick, he's practicing with the Blues, but he's not on the Blues roster. Right? I actually don't see him on any roster unless he's, I don't see him on any roster. So I'm not sure where Pitlick actually is because I'm not seeing him on a roster. Right? I thought the Blues waived him. I don't see him anywhere on any roster. So I'm not sure what's going on. So, but what it looks like is going to happen is Logan Brown is going to end up on LTIR, or not LTIR, on IR. When he goes on IR, you get not cap relief. You get
Hold on a second, guy.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Trying to pair my headphones here.
Okay, no problem. But when you go on IR, you get roster relief, but not cap relief.
Come on.
LTIR, you get both. And it looks like Brown will probably go on IR. Hey, Wendy, the Blackhawks won a game. Right? Way to go, man. I think they beat, who did they beat? The Canucks, I think. Can you hear me, Lance? No, I don't think you can hear me yet. I know the lounge did. They couldn't handle it. Funny part, most of the people enjoyed it, all about having fun. Yeah, I got kicked out. I've been kicked out of the lounge. Hey, Colin Smith, how you doing, bud? I've been kicked out of the lounge, the nation, and we all bleed blue. Right? And they just don't think that I should sell. And, the lounge kicked me out because my background showed right? My event, which was a fundraiser, and they kicked me out for that. Right? That was like really stupid. And the thing is, it was a sponsored event, and it was, the alumni were there and things like that.
Give me a second.
Say again, Lance? Still not working. He's working on it, so give him a second. Actually, so this is the jersey that Mike Hoffman wore the night that they honored Bobby Plager. So this is his jersey. This is a game-worn jersey. And that's why it has the 68 and then the 5, and I have a bunch of signatures on the back. It's also signed by Hoffman. So I'm really happy with that. Thoughts on Mctavish? I think he's done well. I mean, you look at the penalty kill right now. I mean, other than the first game of the season where they gave up 2, they haven't given up anything. Penalty kill seems to be right back where it was. I'll tell you what, the power play is at 33%. Penalty kills at 100. I'll take that all day long. Right? That win, that 5-2 win, was the type of win that you expect from the Blues. Ready for tomorrow night. Nobody is there tomorrow night. The Blues play Wednesday. Blues play Wednesday. Oh, Ashley, I got to tell you, Ash, we really miss you. Right? We absolutely miss you. We missed you Saturday. I miss you today. Any day that you're not here, we miss you. We love you. We hope you're feeling better. And we just want you to know that we're thinking about you. Colin says, do you think if we had a Hoffman right now, we could be even an even better team. I don't know who we'd have to give up to get him, though. That's the thing, right? I'm not sure who would we not have to have him on the team, right? And that's the thing. I mean, yeah, he would make us better, depending on who you could take off. But considering I think he's making 4.5 mil or 5 mil with Montreal.
He's making 3.5. I think
3.5. No, he's got to be making more than that.
Let me look.
Yeah, I think he's making more than that because I think he went
3.5 million.
Okay, so you know what? If they would take Scandella, if Scandella wasn't on the IR, then we could bring him in. But see, I think I don't think we can give up a defenseman. We'd have to give up another forward, and the only thing I could see is giving up would be, this is a legitimate trade. Here's a legitimate trade, right? Barbashev and say Will Bitten and a 5th round pick for Hoffman. What do you think, Lance?
He ain't coming here. He'd never come here.
Well, I mean, somebody asked, and I'm saying, if you brought him, what would you have to give up? Well, money-wise, I think you'd have to give up because don't want Hoffman, though I love him. He has not done well in Montreal. I mean, but they don't have the team, right? They don't have the team. Yes, we play Seattle on Wednesday night. That's 9:00 Central Standard Time. I will be on at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Late game. I know Ashley won't be in for the late game, and it's a Wednesday night, so you might be here, Lance, right?
I should be able to be there. And hey, if it's brought out, Hoffman for Barbashev, I wouldn't mind doing that because Barbashev's going to be gone anyway, and I don't think you would take a huge step down at all from Hoffman, even though he's older. Once Berube used him correctly, he really flourished in that in that system. Especially, everybody says we don't have that great one timer from Perron. I think Hoffman was just as good on the opposite side on the right wing than Perron was.
Okay, well here's this. I'll take Will Bitten out of it, so I'll say not Scandella, Barbashev and a 5th.
Yeah,
make it a 3rd. Barbashev and a 3rd for Hoffman.
I do Barbashev. And
actually, I think Hoffman's a better goal scorer than Barbashev.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's got a better shot.
Right? Yep. And you put him now. Barbashev plays the penalty kill, so that's the one spot. I think he does. Yeah, he's on the penalty kill, so that's the one shot. I would like it. Oh, you don't work Thursday morning, so we might have Ashley Wednesday if she's feeling up to it. How's that sound there, Lance?
Mm-hmm. Great.
Right. I love that. So let's talk about Saturday's game there, Lance. What are some of your impressions? Let's start a segment. So the day after game, or if it's a back-to-back, the day after the second game, let's do a good, bad, and ugly from each game. Right. What do you say? You like doing that?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do that. So let's start with the ugly, but we'll do the ugly first. What is something ugly that you could take out of that game? And it could be on either team, just the game in a whole.
I thought as a whole, the Blues did well in their own end, but there were times when Columbus kept them in the zone and got some pressure on Bennington. That's one of the few ugly things, I think. For the most part in the neutral zone, they did a decent job in the neutral zone, but there was just times where Columbus was in that end way too much for too long of a time.
Yeah, for me, I guess the ugly would have to be the first 10 minutes of the second period.
Yep.
That's kind of where the Blue Jackets, I don't say took over, but they had some momentum going. They worked together. They did some of the things that they needed to do. That for the Blues, but the thing is they weathered the storm. So it's not that ugly. It could be uglier.
Oh yeah,
right?
It could always be uglier.
So we'll go with the bad. What is your bad for the game?
I really can't think of a bad. I'm sure there's something that I'm missing. But, overall, like I said, the only thing I could think of is, is to be a little bit better in the neutral zone. I thought they were good, but they could be better in the neutral zone.
My bad actually goes on Columbus and Elvis Merlikins, the goalie. He made some mistakes, right? He made some mistakes. That game should have been a lot closer. Actually, they probably should have gotten that game to overtime. But he made a couple of big mistakes, and the Neighbors goal. I mean, Neighbors did everything, but in all actuality, a guy's 10-foot square from the net, 15-foot square to the net, you should stop that. Right? You should stop that, especially on a snapshot. Right? And for him to get it up that high, I still think that's one that Merlikins probably should have had. And I watched that goal a couple of times. Shin and Letty just were amazing on that goal. That's the way Letty, I think it was Letty, got down there and really worked hard along the boards. And then Neighbors was with him, and Neighbors backed out and got himself in a good position. When Shin got him the puck, he just, a lot of good stick working. But for me, that's the bad. So I didn't see that. I mean, I can't put him in the good or the ugly, but I can't put him in the bad because he didn't have a bad game. Yeah, he didn't have a bad game. Parayko was, here we go. Parayko, he was +1. He did 23 minutes, 23-23, which probably led the Blues. It looks like it did, right? So he had the most ice time, 32 shifts. He averaged 43 seconds a shift. He had 3 shots that were blocked. He had a hit, and he had a takeaway. I mean, not great numbers, but they're not, not 4 or 5 giveaways or, miss a bunch of missed shots. The fact that he had 3 blocked, that's good for him. That means he's taking his slap shot, right? And that's the thing. And he had 2 of them right there at the end of the first period, I think it was, or second period.
I thought he had a good game.
Period.
Yeah,
so say again.
He had a good game. I didn't notice any plays where I thought, dang, Parayko, why'd you do that? I don't know what Ryan's seeing there, but I watched him a lot because everybody's been on that. But I don't think that there's any bad things that he did. I thought he was solid, not great. Yeah, but solid.
I'm with you. The rugged. Yeah, that was something that they should have definitely, because someone could have tripped on that. One of you old guys, wasn't it Sarah Palin that I think it was Sarah Palin that injured a Blue from the puck drop one night? Does anybody remember that? I remember hearing about that. The guys on Let's Go Radio talked about it. I don't remember it because I was overseas at that time. But I kind of remember something about that. It was one of the female politicians that was, high up there. So I think it was her. Could be wrong. I don't think 55 was bad. Rob Morton, I agree with you. Cairo is the closest to failing. Is that failing or falling? I can't tell. Falling.
Must be falling.
Yeah, I'm nah.
Here's what's stupid to me. Put the rug right to the edge of the ice. There's no reason for that rug to be 18 inches, 24 inches off the ice. Put it right up to the end there. That way they just put their skate on it. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to worry about it. I'll be shocked if that rug is out on the ice next time they come out.
Oh, he's talking about Cairo being closest from falling to the rug.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Well, when they won't come out. I mean, they won't be introduced again this year, so I don't think that they'll come out. That rug won't be like they won't come out that way again. Well, if they do sometimes.
Yeah, if they make the playoffs, it's going to come out.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Oh, Manny Legacy. Yeah, Legacy almost got hurt or something. I remember something about that. Okay, so now we'll talk about the good. What's your good from Saturday?
As always, Justin Falk had a good game, and I know you give credit to Shin, for that goal there and Letty. But if it's not for Falk taking that guy that would have snuffed that play out with with Neighbors. If Falk hadn't moved him along with him, he'd have been right where Neighbors was going to put that puck, and there's no way Neighbors would have scored that goal. The good was, to me, was Justin Falk on that big play on the Neighbors goal to move that guy and get that guy to follow him and bite on him and follow him around the other side of the net.
What is Falk's number?
72.
He wasn't on the ice for the Neighbors goal.
I'm almost positive he was.
Nope, he wasn't on the ice. I think he got off the ice. Right? Because they're showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they're showing 6, but I think he was off the ice for that goal.
No, I don't think he was because
4, 10. I'm looking at the score sheet. 4, 10, 49, 50, which is Bennington, obviously. 55 and 63.
Well, there was one of the goals that Hoffman that Falk did that, and
Falk was on the Buchnevich goal, the Barbashev goal.
Yeah,
he started that breakout.
Yeah,
he started the breakout with Shannon Buchnevich. That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, without him, that goal doesn't happen.
Yeah, right. Where are we at here? Why don't they just freeze some ice from the rink to the locker room? That way it'll be safe. Nah, because you got too many people walking that won't work, Ryan. This way, Tara. Hank Tarashenko. I can't speak tonight. Tara getting 2 goals, 72, but number 1 in our hearts. And the 3 Russians, Buchnevich, Tarashenko, and Barbashev, are the only ones good at shooting. There was more good at that. Because people without skates go up and down. Yeah, I was saying what I said. And for me, I think the good was the team play, right? The overall team play. That I saw passing was better. It was a lot crisper. For the first game of the season, when you haven't played in a week, you don't expect it to be that crisp, but it was. Passing was crisp. Through the neutral zone. They got through the neutral zone with some speed, and then they started mixing it up from going center to the wings, and that, got Columbus messed up a little bit. Special teams, still, right? The special teams was together for me, and I see a team that looks like the same team as last year. And that's important. Now, you know what? I'm sorry. I think Berube's changed my mind. He really has. He's done some great things lately and worked hard with these guys. And you know what? He's given those young guys a chance to get out there. And you look at Logan Brown. If Logan Brown wasn't hurt, I think Logan Brown would be out there scoring goals. I think Logan Brown got the message during the offseason. Lance?
He's got to show me something. He's got to show me something in the regular season. And until he does that, he's just another player to me. If he gets 20, 25 goals, then I'll start to buy him. If he gets 6, 7, 8 goals and 14 assists, he is what he is to me until he proves different. He's got the skill. He's got the talent. There's just something in his head that has stopped him from becoming the player that he should be. And I hope he does, because it just makes the Blues that much better. But I've got to see it for more games.
Yeah. Oh, well, I told you, I was impressed. But even before training camp started, I kept talking. I thought Brown was going to have a good year. And if he doesn't get injured, I think he will have a good year. And, it just depends on how bad that injury is. What's up with his shoulder? Oh, Detroit just scored. It is now 3-3. Haven't looked at the Minnesota has tied it up. It is 2-2 with 9:56 to go in the second. So, that's good news. I just thought that he figured something out. And I got told that he went to Arizona to work out with Clayton Keller. And I know that they also worked out with Austin Matthews. Right? And I think Austin Matthews has got good work ethic. That's something that everyone talks about Austin Matthews, is his work ethic. But he's got a good, solid work ethic. Perron, that's his second goal of the night. Perron gets his second. Let me check that real quick. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. Think you click on the right one and you don't.
Yeah, that's his second of the
second goal. Yeah. Second goal of the night. Third of the season for him. Oh, Ryan Green, I was joking. Okay.
Did,
I was
did
joking
you
about the ice to the locker room. A few
did,
jokes have slipped.
did,
A
did,
few jokes have slipped tonight.
did you see how there's several people still talking about how much they miss Perron and how it was Armstrong's fault and that narrative, just like
Well,
the
see, I
Tarasenko narrative, is
can't.
getting
I'm
old.
not in other groups. I
I
can't
am.
unless they put it in my group or a few like Let's Go Blues or St. Louis We All Bleed Blue. I really I try and look at the groups, but I don't because the way I've been treated by the groups. I kind of look out. I kind of look at you as my social media guy. The guy that's going to let me know what's going on social media and stuff like that. So that's where I look at it. And you know what? I still understand that. I understand that mentality. And I still think it's part of the group think. I think there's a lot of group think going on with the Blues, and not just the national media, but in the fan base, right? You got a couple of guys talking about, how much Perron was going to be missed, right? However, that was a power play goal for Perron. Red Wings team Blackhawks. Well, yeah, I called them the Blue Wings earlier. Oh, you're fine, man. You're fine, Chris. We love you, bud. We absolutely love you. A few, Perron's going to be missed. Perron this, Perron that. They did this, they did that, and that group think started happening. Instead of people sitting back and going, okay, what are we actually losing? Well, we're losing about 60-something points. 0.8 points per game. Okay. That's significant, but it's not overall. It's not like high end. The Kings just scored. So, but that one looks like it might be challenged. High end. And then it's not like we lost all these other 20 goal scorers. We kept them. Right. And you look at Vladdy didn't score. I don't think he got a goal. Oh, I don't know if that went in or not. Oh, it went in. Oh, wow. So Husso he makes a great save. He scissors it and gets it between his legs, but it slips out from under him and it's laying on the ice, and he's laying on the ice, and then it gets poked in by the Kings. So 4-3 Kings with 6:44 to go in the third. I miss him. I can't say DP anymore. You can say DP, right? You're more than welcome. For me, when I was talking about that group think, it just seems like it's carried over instead of stepping back and looking at things and going, that's something we can cover. That's not a big of a hole. I still don't think the Husso is as big as of a hole, right? So right now he's got a 2.0 goals against average in 2 games. Mm-hmm. Okay, not bad. That could change. It could go up a little bit, depending. But let's see what happens going down. Let's see at the end of October when he's played 5 games, right? Let's see where Bennington is when he's played 5 games. However, with Bennington, I only put 1 goal on him, and that was okay. I put it on him, but what was he going to do? He maybe he waits, but the guy gets around him and still has the net on the weak side. Gets past him on the stick side, right? I don't know. I just think that we're doing good. Well, we've got a good, solid team that I still think is a cup contender, and it's going to take a lot to convince me otherwise, right? Do you think they're a cup contender, or do you put them just out of the cup contention?
So like I said at the beginning of the season, they can beat anybody. When they play their game, they're a cup contender. When they get away from their game, they're nowhere near a cup contender. It's one of those teams. They have an identity, and if they follow that identity, they're going to be just fine, and they can beat anybody. And I say out of this probably 7-8 teams that could win the cup, the Blues have to be in there.
Yeah, I'm with you. Looking at my fantasy stats real quick. I'm losing so bad. I'm playing the Oilers guy. And so our team, we have a full league. So we have 32 teams, right? And it's a keeper league. And each team, there's one person for each team. Mm-hmm. So, like they're the Honolulu Blues. since I'm in Hawaii, right? And, he's in Edmonton, so the Edmonton Oilers and other things like that. So it all depends on where you're at. But he's got a really good lineup. He's got Mctavish. He's the one that's been trying to get Thomas off of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, there's no way I can let Thomas go to him. I told him, if you want to give me Thomas, or you want Thomas, give me McDavid. Right? And I know that's not going to happen, but yeah, I can't let him get that much stronger and then me that much weaker, and wait 4 years or 5 years down the road before my team gets good. So not where I'm at. I think this season is going to be a expected team who wins this year, unexpected team who wins this year. It could be. The Moose is loose. Mikko Rantanen scored. Okay. We got our McDavid troll. And McDavid, I love you, dude, man. You're more than welcome to come on. But what about the Battle of Alberta, man? I didn't hear nothing when your goalie got knocked out in the first 10 shots. 4 goals on 11 shots. 26. I think he had a 26 goals against average. Right? Let me look at that real quick. I know. So Jack Campbell had a 23.9 goals against average. Yeah, and then this Edmonton Oilers guy, I got to tell him, he's a genius. So he has Campbell and his backup Skinner. He started them both. Well, Campbell failed, right? Well, Skinner comes back and pitches, shuts him out for the rest of the time. So he doesn't get the shutout from Campbell, obviously. But that brings the overall GAA down to like 4.07 and makes it a lot closer to me. Yeah, man, that was – and it helped the save percentage, because save percentage-wise, I would have been killing him in that category.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was just talking about that. What's on your mind tonight, Lance? I've been doing all the talking. You get to talk now.
Not a lot. I've been watching a lot of games, and I think Seattle's going to be better this year. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but they definitely look better. They're more competitive on the ice. I do think their defense might be a little weak. I really like Seattle, what they're doing. I know everybody's on the Penguins bandwagon just after a couple games, and your team's old. And towards the end of the season, Malkin and Crosby and all them other guys, they're not going to be as fresh. And, I don't see Pittsburgh continuing to play the way they played, especially in the last game. So, I just think people need to sit back and wait till their teams play more games. We've already got people saying that Edmonton fans, the Oilers, they're a shoe-in for the cup. We would have won the cup if we could have beat Colorado, and we were close. No, you weren't close to beating Colorado. How are you close to beating Colorado?
We got swept.
They got swept. Yeah, I see that all the time on Facebook and Twitter. We were close to beating Colorado.
We got swept. I don't think any of the teams were close.
I don't care if the games were 3-2 and 4-3. You weren't close to beating Colorado. You didn't win a game.
Here's a good question. Do you think we are a mid-market team or a small market team?
You want my personal opinion? Since the Blues spend up to the cap every year, you may as well say that we're a big market team, because they spend to the cap, that they do what they can to try to win. I wouldn't call it a mid-market team, because our attendance is great. It's always in the top 8 or 10 in attendance. And, they're always competitive, and they always spend to the cap. If they were spending 70 million, 71, I could see why you could call them a mid-market team, but they're trying to win. I always base that on what they want to spend. I don't base that on the size of the city.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the way a lot of it. So, the big markets are New York, Dallas, LA. I guess San Jose could be considered a big market if you bring in San Francisco, right? Because they're kind of together. You got San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose all right there. I don't know what St. Louis's market, I think they're like in the 50s or 60, market size. When they rank the television markets, they're in the 50s, which would put them in a mid market. But you're right, I put them somewhere between a mid and a big market team. One of the reasons that I up them is because, like you said, they spend to the cap, but also they travel well. The Blues travel really, really well, and they have a very large expat fan base, right? And we've seen that. We've seen fans in Australia, fans in England, fans in the Netherlands. I know fans in Japan. I know through the military that there's a big expat with the Blues fans, and that bring that up.
Okay, there's a bunch of cities that have, they have a football team and a hockey team and all these other things. All the St. Louis has is the Cardinals and Blues, and they're the 23rd biggest market in the U.S.
23rd,
according to Sports.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. 23rd. I thought it was a little bit lower than that, but I could see that.
Well, right? What they're doing is they're taking their Metro East. When they talk about sports markets, they're including St. Charles, Chesterfield, Collinsville, Edwardsville, and St. Louis. Just like I've always thought, they have around 1.3 million people in the market. It's 1.239, and there's other places that you would think would be bigger, like Vegas. Vegas is only 846K. So I would consider them, like you said, they're not quite a big market, but they're not also a small market.
Yeah, they're like a high mid market, a low. They're either a high mid market team or a low big market team, right? That's where I would put them. I was impressed Saturday night. I got to tell you, even after those 2 goals, this team didn't seem. I never felt like the team was out of the game. Like they got so far down that they were gonna just lose it. That they just kept fighting. And at the end of the second, there, Parayko, I think it was Was it Barbashev yelling at him to shoot again after he hit the one guy? So they understand each other very well. And I talked about this. Oh, breakaway. Oh man, empty net. Oh. Wow. So, Busso's goals against is going to be about 2.1, because he's out of the net for the last 2 minutes. So that's going to adjust it a little bit, but hey, is what it is. We'll see. But he gave up 4 tonight to LA, on 33 shots. That's the one thing that was a big good for me, that the Blues only giving up 26 or giving up like 25 shots. Right. I was impressed with that. And then, I want him to take more than 30, but I want him to give less than 30. I think that Columbus is a shooting team. The fact that they were able to limit them in two of the periods was huge for me. But then in the third, the second, when they kind of had that big period, oh, wow. Detroit just tied this game. Tied the game with 21 seconds to go.
Wow.
I can imagine it being easier to be consistent when things aren't making you frustrated, especially after 2 and 18 seconds. I think for them, it's the fact that, this team, this is the same team we had last year. And I know teams change from year to year. We've seen that, We saw in 21, the second period was our worst period. We were like minus 25 or 30 in that season. And then we turn around to last year and we're the best team plus 60 something. Right? We're just, the numbers are crazy. Crazy in that. And, then you go and you have a team that didn't get shut out last year, a team that was top, really high in special teams and all that, but it made so few changes. It changed a backup goalie, and it changed I guess you could call him a first line wingman, but not that it was so big. It wasn't like they lost 60 goals. It wasn't like they took Austin Matthews off the team. Now you take Austin Matthews away, yes, that's a huge loss. That's hard to recuperate. But 24 goals is not hard to recuperate with guys you can bring in and other guys having better years, in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Actually, he might have had more than that. He might have, no, I think he had 24 or 25 goals. Even, he might have been close to 30. I don't remember. But even Shin had 24 goals and he was, out half the year. So let's see what happens. Detroit's going to overtime. So Philly might get that GAA down a little bit. Let's see what happens. Just replace Matthews with Hoffman. No, I mean that's where I'm looking at. Everyone's acting like McDavid or
everybody's acting like we lost McDavid.
Like that left the Blues.
Yeah, everybody's acting like it's Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and so we just lost him. And I understand people like him. I like Blues players too, but it's a business. He knew what the Blues could do, and he called Doug Armstrong 5 days before the free agency period started and said, "We're going to look elsewhere. What do you want Doug Armstrong to do?"
Yeah,
I mean, I'm tired of the Doug Armstrong bashing. It's just getting old. And
it's the group think, Lance.
I know people can't think for themselves today, and it drives me nuts. If they see one thing, everything they see after that, it's just like blinders. They got blinders. And all they saw at first was Perron came out and said, it was just like I was invited to dinner and they didn't show up. And that got in people's mind. And Doug Armstrong's opinion was over here and they didn't even see it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was, yeah, that didn't feel, that press conference or that radio interview did not feel right to me.
Well, and another problem I had, and I know you did too, the local media fed into it. They kept taking the Perron narrative and putting it out there to make the Blues, which, okay, I understand you got to be unbiased. I do understand that. But you shouldn't overdo your team and call them the greatest team in the world like some TV announcers and radio announcers do. But you shouldn't also beat them down. You've got to be balanced there. And for the local media to take Perron's side and not let's tell the background story of how it got to where it got, it's bad journalism.
Yeah, some of that. Now, Danny Johnson makes a good point. He says it shows that we love our players. Well, that's yes and no. That's we love our players when they're doing really well. We don't when they're not. Right? Last season, I mean, look at the beginning of this year. People would have destroyed Binnington, right? Oh, Binnington's going to be so bad. Binnington this, Binnington that, and his numbers, he had a rough time. Yeah, but here he is in the playoffs. He's the goalie that should have started, but he didn't. Okay, you know what? The coach, that's your choice. I get it. You had a 1A and a 1B. No problem. But when your 1B faltered, your 1A stepped up. And he stepped up big time. And we're fickle. We're very, very fickle when it comes to the Blues.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with missing a guy. But to take it to the point to, 3 games after the season started, when he was signed months ago, we miss you, and we're sorry that you had to do what you had to do. And then in parentheses, sorry about what Doug Armstrong did to you. Come on, guys. I mean, let's get over it.
Binnington probably had his worst season. That's why there's skepticism. Yeah, he did have an off season, but a lot of that was COVID related. But when it mattered, he was there. When it mattered in the play down the stretch and in the playoffs, he was there. He was there.
It's just like Jake Allen after he had that bad 2018 to begin the season, and then they put Binnington in down the stretch towards the Blues Stanley Cup run there. And I'll take this to my grave. There wasn't a better backup goaltender in the league on the eye test, the goals against, and the save percentage than Jake Allen was. Jake Allen was the best backup in the league at the end of that 2018-19 season. Without Jake Allen, we don't win that cup.
I agree. I absolutely agree with you.
But he was bad at the beginning of the season. I mean, he
was.
But he got better. I mean, you can't expect a goalie every single. Andre Vasilevsky has bad games. Glenn Hall had bad games. Martin Brodeur had bad games. Patrick Waugh had bad games. Dominic Hasek had bad games. Guys, you're not going to have a great game every game, and you're not going to have good years every year. Very few guys have great years every year.
I'm trying to pull something up right now. My computer's acting up on me. Okay. I'm going to pull up the stats that you were just talking about, right? Because it's an interesting thing to me. I just clicked the wrong thing. Oh, come on, guy. Figured it out. I think if you look at from the 7th of January, when Bennington gets his first start, till the end of the season, Allen's numbers are going to be just as good. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is a good one. Elliott before that. Yeah, when the Elliott and the Allen thing were going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, Elliott, you know, there was this conception that, when you had Allen and Hutton.
Yeah.
There were two different goalies. The team played differently between the goalies. Yep. Now you have, that's the thing with Greiss and Bennington. I think you have two goalies that are a lot closer in play style. Greiss can play the puck. Not as good as Bennington, but he can play the puck.
And the good thing about Greiss is he's mainly been a 1A, 1B guy. So he hasn't played 50 plus games. But when you have a 1A, 1B guy, you're doing pretty well. And the Islanders had a 1A, 1B guy, and he did very well. You know, there are some backups guy that you won't see in more than 20, 25 games. And then they might bring a guy up from the AHL and he may have 6 games or something like that. Andre Vasilevsky is going to play a lot more than Brian Elliott will. It's just the way it is. Yeah. And the Blues with Elliott and Allen had a great punch. With Allen and Carter Hutton, they had a great punch. And I remember when Hutton, left, we let the wrong guy go, and we should have signed Hutton to a 6-year contract. And I don't know what's wrong with these fans, guy. It's like they can't be happy with both goaltenders. They just can't do it.
What it is again, it's two things. It's A, group think, right? And it's B, they don't. I mean, there's some lack of understanding of what's happening. It's looking at the surface and not beneath the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey is the one sport that the surface does not tell you the story at all. Mm-hmm. Right? Basketball, the surface tells you the story. Football, the surface tells you the story. Baseball, the surface tells you the story. What you see is what you get. Period. End of story. That's it. Right?
And I'm going to tell you one thing, to be a backup goalie and to stay sharp in the league, and let's say the season starts, you play in the 4th game, then you don't play again until the 10th game. It is the hardest position to stay focused on and to perform well. And Greiss has done it as a 1A, 1B. Allen and Hutton did it. Allen and Elliott did it. It's hard to stay focused when you're not that number one.
Yep, I know. I understand. I absolutely understand. I'm pulling that number up now. You got to give me a second.
That's fine.
That was the 19 season. So he
18, 19.
Yeah, he came in January of 19, right?
Yeah. First game was the 7th or the 3rd?
7th,
yeah.
Right. I know, because I was on a plane. I landed and as that game was going on. Right. And to June, not June, May, April. I don't remember when we start the playoffs. I'll go. Well, it's regular season only, so it doesn't matter. There we go. Let me do this here. I want to. Oh, it's not. Oh, more filters. I want to do, let's say 20 games played. That sound good?
Yeah.
20 games, minimum of 20 games. So from January 6th to the end of the season, or January 7th to April 7th, which would have been the end of the season,
mm-hmm.
Bennington that year was 24-5-1 with a .930. Played 30 games.
And a 1.89 goals against.
1.83.
8.3, yep.
right? And then I'm looking to see where. Well, he might not have gotten 20 games. He might not have gotten 20 games. I may have to drop that down at 10 because it's less than half a season. Yeah, he didn't get 20 games. So let me drop this down to 10. 10. Okay. Where's he at? Did he get 10 games? I hope so.
I thought he played like 8 to 10 games in that second half.
Jake Allen, here we go. He played 13 games. He was 5-4-4 with a 922. There's some backups here that had better numbers than him, right? Malcolm Subban played 13 games with 6-5-2 with a 901 and a 293.
That's 901 though.
Elliott had a 902 and a 345 at 5-4-1. So,
what was Jake's goals against?
3-5. Jake. Oh, well, it was Brian Elliott. Hold on. Jake Allen was 228.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
His save percentage and his goals against, and the way I mean, there were games and those overtime losses or shootout losses.
Well, he only had one.
Yeah. Well, you said he was 5-4-4.
Yeah, he had one loss. No, he was Jake Allen was 5-4. Oh no, he was 5-4-4. Okay, that's what
So, but some of those games,
some
of those games were low scoring that he lost.
Yeah,
he was really good in that second half.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So, where are we at here? Media doesn't show you the meat, just the wrapper. Sometimes.
Here's what it is. They show you the wrapper, but they don't show you the writing on the wrapper. They don't show you the nutritional facts.
Yeah, so Ryan Green says people see an opinion from a small group of people on Facebook, and then they agree with it, and it multiplies whether right or wrong. That is absolutely true, especially with Blues fan. Toronto lost to Arizona. Yes, I seen that, man. Grice might play 20 games or so. That's a lot of points for a backup to lose, which can cost us. But why do you say he's going to lose them? I think he's going to win. He's going to win better than 10 games.
Grice is going to play more than 20 games. I guarantee you, from what I've heard, Berube does not want Bennington playing 62 games. Yeah. He doesn't. He wants Bennington between 47 and 52 games is what he wants.
I agree with this, Jason. I think he will too.
I agree.
Who is the top goaltender in SGF? I don't know what SGF is there, Shy. What is? I don't know if that's a misprint or what you're talking about there.
I think it might be an analytical stat.
Is that expected goals against?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I may not have that available to me.
And Guy, you know how I feel about the hockey analytics.
Well, some of them make sense. Some of them make sense. But like I said, when they talk about the high quality shots, how many did he save? Well, who the hell was taking that shot? It's like I said before. Okay.
Yeah. If I'm a goaltender, do I want a 15-foot shot from Nathan McKinnon or McDavid, or do I want a shot from Dakota Joshua at 15 feet out? Yeah. It doesn't take into account that stat, and it means something.
Yeah. No. Our top goalie down there is Hofer.
Yep.
Ellis is hurt right now, and
so the Russian.
Russian is the backup.
I can't think of. I always go blank when I think of his name.
Zerchenko.
Yeah.
Zerchenko is the backup. So they had a rough weekend. They went 0-2 this weekend, but it's to be expected. There's some big changes on that team, but let's see what they can do. I think that they'll be a good team. Right? I think they'll be a good team. Sorry, Shy, I wasn't sure what you were doing there, what you were saying there, and I apologize, but thank you. I wasn't sure if that was a stat category or something, so that's what I want. That's what I was looking for. Let's talk about. We got tomorrow to talk about the Seattle Kraken. That's going to be an interesting game. We're going to have Dunn. We're going to have Schwartz. I think Schwartz is back. You got Dunn and you got Schwartz. Who else is on that team? Isn't there another Blue that went to that team?
Yeah, there is, and I can't think of his name. There's another former Blues player, and I can't think of his name.
I'll pull it up. I'll pull
see
the roster
Dunn?
report up.
What he did the other night?
Who?
He basically just ripped the guy apart when he was going in to score, and they had to do a penalty shot.
Oh, who was this?
Vince Dunn.
Vince Dunn.
Yep.
They got Dunn and Schwartz. I don't see anybody else. He might be somebody that's down in the minors.
Yeah, there was a guy on the team the other night, and they talked about the Schwartz and Dunn being next Blue, and then they mentioned another guy, and I can't remember his name. I think he was here for a cup of coffee, or he was here with the Wolves or Springfield.
Yeah, let's see. Martin Jones, Andre Berezovsky, Daniel Sprong, Morgan Geeky. No, not Geeky. Shane Wright, Yanni Gordy, Vince Dunn, Clarkson, Sodi, Olachek. See, Jared McCann, Alex Weinberg, Oliver Borkstrand. Yeah, I don't recognize.
Yeah,
Justin Schultz.
Yeah, he may be down in their AHL team, but I know that there's another Blue.
Brandon Tenenev, Will Borgen. Yeah, I don't recognize any of these. None of the goalies either. Mm-hmm. You know, so or even the scratches. Scratches I don't recognize
because their goalies are Grubauer and Jones.
Yeah, and they've got Fleury. Their scratches are Cale Fleury, Ryan Donato, and Carson Quillem. So I don't recognize any of those. Yeah. Right? That's their roster report for tonight. So we'll kind of get a look at it tomorrow. So hey, man, real quick for all you guys. Yeah, we're 3-0 against the Kraken. What did you think of the show on Saturday, where we kept the show running the whole time? Did you guys enjoy that? Was it easier for you? Was it better to find the show? Were you able to stick with it? What do you guys think about doing those things? Oh, Pagnazzi. Okay, yeah.
That's right. No, it's Pagansky.
Pagansky. I have his stick.
Yeah.
I have his stick.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben.
My practice stick. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it. See it there?
Yep, Pagansky.
Yeah. So this is the stick that I use for my wrist, to strengthen my wrist. Right, doing my strength, my strength. So yeah. I couldn't remember that. Defenseman, right? I think he is.
Yeah, I didn't play here very much.
Yeah. I just played it. So Danny Johnson loved it. Who else? I mean, I want to know from you guys what you think about it. You got to let me know. I think that it's better to do it that way. You know, and it might help. You know, it'll definitely bring the views up, because when you guys go out and come back, that counts as a double view. You know, different things like that. The length of the views, all that stuff matters. Ben, how you doing, man? How you doing? We appreciate it. And thank you for that. I just want to give you, again, I'm hoping that you guys can drive the show, right? Yes, I know I'm a minute behind. I stream it. It's going to happen. Nothing I can do about that.
Let me tell you something. When you're watching it on TV, you're about 35 seconds behind too.
Yeah. Well, I get the goal alerts before we see the goal.
Yeah.
So it's that far ahead. It's that far ahead.
I do too. I do too.
Like the new game format. Didn't see the game, but bullshitting with others kept me in tune. Saves time. Thank you. I came late. What did you change? Well, Jason, now it's just one show, right? It's one show. It starts with the pregame and it runs all the way through postgame. During the intermission, we pull out and you see my background. And then when the game comes back, we come back. And that way there's you know right where the show is. So I'm not spending a minute on introductions or anything like that. We get right in. And not only that, there was a couple of things like you guys, Kairu getting beat on that. Couple people were like, why was he all alone? Why did Kairu do this? Why? So we knew right away to pay attention to that play as they replayed it, to see that there was a change going on, and Kairu got caught in a bad change, right? And he did the best he could.
Yeah, he did.
Right. I think he did really well on that. And I think Bennington making that move, it's a chance you take. It's a chance you take. Would he do it again? Probably not. right? Maybe he would, he did it just a tad too early, right? Going down that early just might have killed him. But other than that, oh, I thought you meant Tonight Show. No, I'm talking about the game, not Tonight Show. Love it in the Battlehawks group. Well, I'm trying to get, I got to remember to put it in there. Danny. Just sometimes, when I'm trying to share it. So what I do now is they make them in an event, and then I can post the event. What would be good is when I do post like the game events, if you could put it up at the top, or pin it at the top or something like that. If you guys that do run groups, if you could pin it at the top on game days, so people would see it automatically, that might help too, right? Do we have anyone on our roster that has a maximum number of NHL games they can be playing before going against the salary cap? Well, actually, he counted against the salary cap while he was here. So what it doesn't count against is his service time, right? Those 9 games did not count as 1 year of service. So what happens is his actual contract, right, years of NHL service starts a year later. So you get to hold him longer, but he still counts against the salary cap. And the only guy that we have that may be like that is, I can't think of his name now. The kid they sent down.
You could have Kessel come up. You could have Bolduc come up.
Yeah.
The
guy that had a really good, the rookie that they were real high on. Was that Zach
Alexandrov?
No, I think Bolduc.
I said Bolduc.
Bolduc, yeah. I couldn't remember it. But Bolduc could get 9 games. He hasn't started his NHL service time yet. But right now, I don't see him getting 9 games. Right? I don't see it. I think that while he did okay up here, they knew he was not ready. Right? The best part was when there wasn't any talking on the Saturday show. Oh, Ryan. Oh, it's cool because we don't have to wait for a new show for the intermission. Yeah, I mean, I do that. Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate that, man. No problem. Is the cap increasing? More than likely it will. Right now, it will go up by a minimum of $1 million. And that is set in the CBA. Right? That was in the CBA they finalized before the bubble. And it froze it for 1 year, and then the next 2 years was $1 million. Right? Or 2 years or 3 years was $1 million per year. However, that was a minimum that it could go up. It could still increase. And I would think that if the league has a good year financially, that the owners would want that to increase a little bit.
I still think they're going to be cautious. I think they're going to lower it as much as little as they can for the next year or two, and then after that, it's going to go up $3-4 million.
I think next year. I think next year's the year it's going to go up. I know it's the minimum that is set, but I really do think, because what's happening is as that's going up so little, the escrow account is dropping. Right, the escrow account's down to like 6% now. So they're getting a lot closer to that 50-50 split that they've been trying to get to. And that's what's important. If they can get to that 50-50 split, then this game is going to be very healthy. Right? So do the Kraken scare us at all Wednesday? Benny should start, but it's early, only game 2. Yeah, a late start scares me. The 3 days off, kind of, the fact that we have all this time off before we're playing bothers me. I mean, then we don't play again till Saturday, and that's a 2 p.m. Your guys' time, right? Early afternoon game. That's like a 10 a.m. game for me, right? 10 a.m., 9 a.m., something like that. So Detroit ended up losing 5-4 in OT. The Kings get another win. Kings have got a good team. Avalanche are up 3-2 on the Wild with 19:02 to go in the third. The Stars are up 3-1 on the Jets. And I guess my pick about the Jets being good was wrong. With 1:40 to go in the second, and Kraken haven't started yet. They should be starting here shortly, I think. Or no. 9 o'clock your time, so should be starting shortly.
The Kings are now 2-1-1.
2-1-1.
Yep.
Yeah, I played 4 games already, and we played 1.
Yeah.
Alex, hey man, how you doing, buddy? Miss you. Hey, remember, Alex, the show starts at 8 now. I know you got your kids, and that might make it difficult, but just so you know, show is at 8, not 9. So just to remember. Kings scare me already. Kings don't really scare me as much. They're a good team, but I'm not worried about that. I just want the Blues to come out. I mean, they're going to lose games. They're not going 82-0, right? In all realistic, what are you looking for them to win? In all realisticness, you're looking for that 40 to 45 win mark, right? That's what you're looking for. And that's going to give you, that's 90 points, and the 10 overtime losses gives you 100. Right? That's what you are looking for. You're looking for that 100-point season, right? 50 is the goal, but are you going to get 50? You're going to lose games. I think what I want is when they lose a game that they're in the game, right? If they lose a 2-1, fine. Don't lose a 7-1. Don't lose a 6-1. Right? That's what I'm thinking. And they've got 2 tough games. They got a tough game right behind. They've got who is it? They've got Edmonton, and then right behind Edmonton, they got another tough one. I have to look it up here real quick. So we've got the Jets. So here's our next 4 games, right? Going through October, through the rest of October, we have Seattle on Wednesday in Seattle. We're at the Oilers on the 22nd. Mcdavid's going to be all over us then. Then we're at the Jets on Monday the 24th. Then we finally get a real schedule, because then on Thursday, on Wednesday, 2 days later, we play the Oilers at home. And then on the 27th, the next night, we fly to Nashville and play the Predators back to back. And then the 29th of October, we play Montreal at home, and then we get the Kings at home on the 31st. The schedule gets a little bit, even it's from the 24th to the 26th. Okay, no, I looked at it wrong. It gets to a point where we start playing every other night, which is a better style. But when you're playing every 3-4 nights, every 2-3 nights, it messes things up, right? And that's the only thing that concerns me with the team is that stuff, right? Big Vol scores 4-2. What game is he talking about? He's probably being a Avs homer. Yep. He's being an Avs homer. So, who we got here? Myers scored for Colorado. Kaprizov tied it at 1. Colorado made it 2-1 on Gerard. Eriksson Ek made it 2-2 in the second on a power play goal. Then Rantanen scored in the second at 11:50 in the second, and then early in the third, Manson scored to make it 4-2. Right? McDavid thinks that there's only 3 teams in the West that can win. Right? The Oilers, Calgary, and the Avalanche. And I think that there's some teams that are going to surprise. I really do think the Blues are going to surprise. Hey, I had to put my kids to bed, so I just had a newborn. The 6. Oh no, I knew you did, bud. I just wanted to. If you were coming in thinking the show was at 9, not that's why I was doing that. And congratulations on the new baby, my friend.
Yeah, congratulations.
Very happy for you. Right, very happy for you. Okay, Lance. Thank you. I'm not going to stay much longer, bud.
All right, guys.
Lance, thank you. Have a great night. We love you. I'll stay a little bit longer for you guys since Alex just showed up, and I'll talk to you. Looking at, I want to look at Husso's numbers real quick. Well, Husso's numbers tonight weren't great, and you guys all love Husso to death. We know that. Here we go. Husso ended up being 31 for 36. His goals against average is going to be just a little over 2, or no. His overall goals against average is going to be about 2.6, somewhere around there, maybe 2.5, depending on how long it was in overtime before they scored that goal. Not sure how long in the overtime that went before they scored. Let's see, a minute 11. So yeah, his goals against are going to be right around 2.5. And you know, didn't have a good night in my eyes. He did not have a good night. And really, it shouldn't have gotten there. The Kings missed an open net, an empty net earlier that put it there. Husso was overhyped. Love the dude, but he's not a top tier goalie. I agree. I absolutely agree, Alex. I'm just keeping an eye on him. I know Perron had a decent game. Perron had 2 points, 2 goals, no assists. Sundqvist had an assist. There you go. So those are the 3 Blues. I know the other one that's on that team is injured and not there right now. Starts with a W. I can't remember his name. The guy that I got trolled with. So, right, is what it is, my friends. Is what it is. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of cautious. I mean, he's playing well. We're seeing that, and he's testing his shoulder. But then again, Vladdy did the same thing, and, you know, against LA, he had that little just got shoved, and it pops, the shoulder popped out, or something in the shoulder, so you don't know. But, you know, he had a good game. I thought Torpachenko had a really good game. I was impressed by him, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say there. I was impressed by him. I thought he did well out there. I was impressed by Neighbors. We talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly earlier. I just think that, you know, overall, this was, we have with Tarasenko. That's true. And that's why you remain cautiously optimistic. Oh, man, I can't speak at all, can I? Oh, man, I'm getting beat bad. I'm getting beat 12 to I'm 7, 12, and 8 in my fantasy league. Right? Hopefully my goalies can help me out. I need Bennington to pull a shutout for me this week. I need him to pull 1 or 2 shutouts. You know, that would be great. That would be great, Bennington. And then I need some of my big guys. I need Thomas and O'Reilly to really hit it up. We had the Neighbors talk before. I like the kid, but I'm still unsure. Yeah, I am too. But you know what? He's earned his spot, bud. He's absolutely earned his spot. He's come out and done the things he needs to do. Wow, LA won the face-off, 65-35. Man, that's a good team. I don't think people realize how good of a team that is. You know, he earned that spot on that team. He really did, right? You know, even if Brown wouldn't hurt, he wouldn't be going down. Lance had to go, man. Lance can usually do about an hour with his health issues. He has trouble doing much more than that, sitting in one place for much more than that. So, you know, the other night he sat for an hour and a half, and it was just way too much for him. So, you know, I let him know, if you got to go, you got to go, right? Where am I at? I'm lost here a little bit. Like Neighbors, I agree. I just think that we're going to have a good season and just continue watching. Let's see what happens. You know, again, I break the season down by 8s, every 8 games, and every 8 games, that's 10%. We're going to take a look at where we're at. We're going to grade the team, right? We'll grade the team where we're at 8 and figure out where that is. Yeah, he did. He had a well game. He had a very well game. You know, we will break down the Seattle game Wednesday. We'll probably make the Seattle game down Thursday because Wednesday will be so late, and I'll do a short post game on Wednesday, since I know a lot of you guys will want to get in bed. It'll be almost midnight your guys' time, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, midnight your guys' time. Who would your top offensive line be if you pick? Well, I mean, I like the lines the way they are, right? The only thing that I could think of changing is maybe putting Saad on the third line and bringing Kyrou up to the second line. But I'm not 100% sold on that, to be honest with you. As far as the top line, while they're listed as second, I really think that Kraken or Lurdy losing 1-0, 16:05 to go in the first. I think that I just lost my place. I think that Thomas, Tarasenko, and Buchnevich are our best line, right? And for me, that's our best line. But I don't mind the O'Reilly, Kyrou, Saad line. I think I got that right. Yeah. Or no, is it Barbashev on that line? No. Yeah, O'Reilly, Kyrou, Saad. There we go. Right. I could see, Neighbors is on the third line, but I could see Neighbors being up there with Kyrou. That's what I meant. Neighbors up there, Neighbors and Saad switching, right? Neighbors and Saad switching. That's what I was thinking. Man, I'm kind of lost here a little bit. I'll stay a little bit longer. You guys seem to be keeping the comments going. We did the good and the bad and the ugly. We'll start doing that, the day after each game. Yeah, Neighbors is on the third line. I could see him changing. I can see him getting moved up to that quote unquote first line. You're not breaking up Thomas, Tarasenko, Buchnevich. Right? I don't see any, and if you did, it might be for a game, right? Where somewhere in the game, they're just having a rough night, so you switch it up that way. But the next game, they would be back together. They have great chemistry. You've already seen that, right? Tarasenko's got what, 2 points already, or is it 3? Let me look here real quick. I'm going to look at our stats right now. I know he's got 2 goals. I don't know if he got an assist. I don't think he did. He might have. No, he had 2 goals. Buchnevich has a goal and an assist. Braden Shen has 2 assists. Neighbors, Barbashev, Thomas, Krug, Falk, and Letty all have a point. Really, the Kyrou was a -2. Okay. Torpachenko -1. Kari was -1. Saad and O'Reilly were -1 because they were out there when that line change happened. Walker ended up even, I think. Yeah, Walker was even. I'm okay with the game we saw, guys. I really am. Tarasenko is 50% shooting percentage. He's got 2 goals on 4 shots. Right? Neighbors is 100%, 1 goal on 1 shot. So, let's see what they can keep doing. And I think Vladdy was in, to me, it felt like Vladdy was in mid-season form already. Right? Neighbors, Thomas, and Kyrou sometimes. I don't. I think if you're doing that, you're hurting. You're no, I'm not with that. Right? I'm not with that. Yeah, I think the one thing with Tank is you got to help him get the puck in open ice, and that's what Thomas does, right? I get the speed in that aspect, but the problem is if you did that, to me, okay, let's put Thomas up and let's bring O'Reilly down. Well, now you have, when you bring O'Reilly down between Buchnevich and Tarasenko, you don't really have, O'Reilly's so much of a two-way player. He's not got that playmaker. He's not as much of a playmaker there. And I think that affects you negatively, right? Puck control, not so much. That's something they're losing. Forget the points. 5-2 start this year. Premier players are going to make goals. Russian trio, and we need the win. I could see that. But the thing is, when he didn't put that line, I mean, once he broke that line up, the Spetsnaz line, he never put them back together, right? And that was something that for me kind of concerned me. Christopher LaJoy, hey man, welcome to the show, Chris. Welcome, bud. Welcome. Great to have you here. I know, but Tank can lead the lower line like the leader he is. I'm just tossing. Well, again, if you do that, you're taking his production away, right? You're changing his style of play, and we've seen when you change his style of play, he struggles a little bit, right? Now he's become a better two-way player. He's become a more disciplined player. He's still got an amazing shot. He can stick handle. He can get in the open, but he needs that. He really needs that guy, that playmaker that can find him in those spots. And I'm not sure O'Reilly is that guy, right? I mean, O'Reilly is a playmaker, but he's not that playmaker. So to me, you're losing way too much. Now, you could drop O'Reilly down to the third line and move Shin over, and then put Barbashev up, and that might work. But then you're really hurting your third line, right? Put Neighbors with vet players, see how he is. I think it can form. He is with vet players right now. He's with Walker and Shin, right? Yeah, he's with. No, is that who he's with? No, Walker was on the. He was with Sot. No, Sot. Come on, who is he with? Shin, Neighbors, and Barbashev. Shin, Neighbors, and Barbashev. So for the most part, he's with veterans, right? He's with veterans. So I'm good with that. I don't think that he would own the line. Jason, I think that I get what you're saying, but we've seen before. We've seen it with Kyrou. When Kyrou outskates his coverage, right? He's too fast for his line and things like that. But when we see things like that, that's what I think you would have happen if Tarasenko dropped down or something like that. That you'll change that up. Now, if you would put Thomas up with Thomas, Neighbors, and Kyrou, make that a second line, have Barbashev, Tarasenko, and Buchnevich as your top line, and then your third line was O'Reilly, Shen, and Saad. That would be three really, it would be two really strong lines and one possibly strong line. But I think that they're too young. I think that Kyrou, Thomas, and are just a little too young yet to have a rookie on their line, if that makes sense. To have two guys like that, two junior guys, young guys. I mean, I know Thomas is more of a thing. Tage Thompson, he was never going to get top line minutes here, right? And he just ended up going to a team that he could play with, and it worked. It worked in his favor. Thanks, man. Been a while. Busy in my patrol. The Blues look great from center ice. I watch the games from reverse camera angle. Portal 34 every game at home. When I get home, I watch the game from there. Okay, well, I love it, man. And make sure when you're going to the games, you're telling people about the Blue Note Fan Report, especially for away games, man. Let's bring the away game guys for this game coming up on Wednesday and the game on Saturday. Let's get these people into the show, bring them in. Show them the show. Show them the show at the game. This is the only place where your voice is there. And I appreciate it if you do. I really do, my friend. I really do. This is the place where your voice is heard. No, that's what I say all the time. I watch live and replay. I'm a diehard Cards Blues fan. I watch a lot of hockey. I try and watch the Blues on replay. A lot of times I just stick with playing on fire. I wish I was, my friend. I wish I was. I try and stick with sometimes with the highlights, or if there's something I'm really concerned about, I'll go back to the game. When it was on NHL.tv, it was very easy for me to do replays. They had an actual DVR, and I could skate through games very easily. ESPN does not, and it's very hard to find aspects of games and that. And then the other thing with NHL.tv is I got every game, whether they showed it or not. It might not. And now games that were on national TV took a week, but I still got to go back and look at it later if need be. So that's the way I kind of looked at it. Well, guys, we're right at that hour and a half mark, hour and 25. I guess I'm going to call it a night here. We'll see you tomorrow night. I appreciate that. I try and wear my, I've got a couple. I've got a Desert Storm hat. I've got my retired hat. I've got my Navy Blues hat. Got my Gulf War hat, and I have one more military hat, but I'm not sure where it is at the moment. So that's what I got, man. Well, guys, I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate you, each and every one of you that watches the show and stays with me all night. Jason Nichols, Danny Johnson, Travis Partington, Dale Klunk, Charles Jenkins, Marianne Holmes, John Hefner, and Brad Pond. Thank you for giving me that love and respect. If you do it on YouTube, I appreciate it. I can't see it. Have a wonderful night. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, saying aloha, mahalo, and you got to know that I'm bleeding blue with you.
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues!
Aloha.